It's 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. The apartment is quiet, save for the low hum of the refrigerator. You are lying in bed staring at the cold, stark glow of your smartphone screen. Your thumb slowly swipes up, scrolling through a text thread that spans 6 entire months. We really need to get drinks soon. I know. I miss you so much. Let's do next week. A heart reaction. Absolutely. Let me know what days work for you. A thumbs up reaction. Then, silence. Silence for 4 weeks. And then, the cycle repeats. An infinite loop of digital enthusiasm leading absolutely nowhere. You stare at the final message, and then you set the phone face down on the nightstand. If you were to isolate the exact emotion sitting heavy in your chest in that micro moment, it isn't longing. It isn't sadness over a fractured bond. It is a profound, deeply unsettling, and heavy relief. The relief that neither of you actually proposed a solid date. The relief that your evening remains completely, utterly your own. And right on the heels of that relief comes the guilt. It's a visceral, nauseating kind of guilt. Because you love this person. You genuinely do. You care about their well-being. You cherish the memories you built together in your early 20s. And if they called you in a crisis at 3 in the morning, you would be out the door before you even had your shoes on. Yet, the idea of actually getting dressed, commuting across town, and sitting across from them for 2 hours on a Thursday evening feels like being asked to scale a mountain with a backpack full of bricks. We are living in an era defined by a bizarre cognitive dissonance. We are a generation crying out for community, desperately craving deep, authentic human connection, while simultaneously guarding our isolated free time with a feral, almost violent intensity. We write think pieces about the loneliness epidemic, yet we secretly pray for our evening plans to be canceled. This isn't just you being a flake. This isn't a character flaw that you need to fix with better time management or a more disciplined approach to your social life. Let's catch up soon is no longer a promise. It is a polite, social graveyard. It is a modern coping mechanism used to bridge the widening gap between the vibrant, endlessly available friend we wish we were and the hollowed out, chronically exhausted adult we actually are. We are going to look at the anatomy of this exhaustion. We are going to unpack why scheduling a simple coffee feels like a threat to your nervous system, how the modern world has quietly destroyed the architecture of casual friendship, and why forcing yourself to just make the effort might actually be the exact thing killing your relationships. To understand why you feel this way, you have to stop looking inward and start looking around you. Because for the last decade, you have been the victim of a quiet, systemic gaslighting. There is a concept in sociology, introduced by Ray Oldenburg, known as the third place. If your home is the first place, and your workplace is the second, the third place is the anchor of community life. It's the local diner where the coffee is cheap and endless. It's the neighborhood stoop, the community center, the dive bar, where nobody cares if you nurse a $3 beer for 4 hours. It is a space where low stakes, organic socializing just happens. You don't schedule it. You don't send a calendar invite. You just show up. And humanity is there. But look at the landscape of the modern American city. Late-stage capitalism has taken a scalpel to the third place, systematically eradicating it or locking it behind steep paywalls. Public squares have been paved over or retrofitted with hostile architecture to ensure no one lingers too long. The libraries are underfunded. The local diners have been replaced by sterile, fast-casual corporate boxes. Because the organic act of simply bumping into each other is dead, socializing has mutated. It is no longer a natural byproduct of existing in a community. It has become a highly orchestrated, high-stakes event. Think about what it actually takes to see a friend today. You aren't just dropping by. You are launching a logistical campaign. It's a 40-minute crosstown commute through surge-priced traffic. It's navigating a crowded room to sit at a cramped table, scanning a QR code to order a $22 botanical cocktail, all while a phantom clock ticks above your head, because the venue strictly enforces a 90-minute table limit. The sheer caloric and financial output required simply to exit your front door and exist perceived in public is staggering. Yet, when we inevitably cancel these plans, when we retreat to the safety of our living rooms and send that apologetic text, We don't blame the disappearing infrastructure. We blame ourselves. We absorb the structural failure of our modern world and internalize it as a personal, moral failing. You tell yourself you are a bad friend. You tell yourself you are becoming a recluse, that you are selfish, lazy, or broken. You aren't. You are a chronically fatigued human being, operating within a modern infrastructure that is openly, aggressively hostile to casual connection. You aren't avoiding your friends. You are avoiding the exhausting, expensive toll plaza you are forced to pay just to sit across from them. When you couple that broken, expensive landscape with the psychological reality of the modern workday, the picture becomes terrifyingly clear. We sell our absolute best cognitive hours to an employer from 9 to 5. Your focus, your patience, your empathy, and your creative problem solving are systematically harvested. By the time you finally close the laptop or clock out, your remaining free time doesn't feel like a flowing, abundant river. It feels like a rapidly depleting, hyper-commodified resource. You begin to hoard your minutes the way a survivalist hoards rations in a bunker. This leads us to a very dark, deeply unromantic truth about adult behavioral psychology. Without even realizing it, we have started running subconscious return on investment calculations on human connection. You look at a text message asking to get coffee, and your brain instantly runs the brutal arithmetic. Will the emotional warmth I receive from this 2-hour interaction outweigh the massive withdrawal from my already overdrawn physical energy account? It sounds transactional. It sounds clinical and cold, but it isn't malice. It is a biological survival mechanism. To understand why that math so often results in a desperate desire to cancel, we have to look at a concept in behavioral science called allostatic load. Think of it as the cumulative, physiological wear and tear on your body caused by chronic, low-grade stress. The endless barrage of emails, the staggering cost of groceries, the relentless, apocalyptic hum of the daily news cycle. Your nervous system is vibrating at a constant, high-frequency pitch just to get through a Tuesday. When your allostatic load is maxed out, your brain stops looking for joy or enrichment. It only looks for safety. It seeks a baseline of zero stimulation, and socializing is inherently unpredictable. The sensory input of a crowded room, the psychological masking required to appear upbeat and engaged, the heavy cognitive lifting of active, empathetic listening, to a fried, overstimulated nervous system, these things do not register as a relaxing release. They register as a threat. The very format of the modern catch-up exacerbates this. Because we see our friends so rarely now, we can no longer just exist in the same room. We have to perform. You are expected to deliver a polished, chronological elevator pitch of your recent traumas, your career milestones, and your existential dread. It feels less like intimacy, and more like a quarterly performance review for your soul. You aren't just sitting with a friend. You are working a second, unpaid shift of emotional labor. So, what is the internet's solution to this deep, structural exhaustion? The relentless chorus of productivity gurus and pop psychologists all preach the exact same gospel. Just make the effort. Be intentional. Put it on the calendar. They tell us that if we want to save our dying social lives, we need to apply the exact same ruthless corporate efficiency to our friendships that we apply to our careers. But here's the tragic irony. By treating friendship like a project management crisis, we are stripping it of its very soul. Welcome to the Adminification of Intimacy. Think about what happens when you finally break the stalemate of that endless text thread. You grit your teeth, bypass the polite "let's catch up soon," and actually lock in a date 3 weeks in advance. A Tuesday evening slot is carved out, color-coded in slate blue on your digital grid. You send the calendar invite. They accept. In that single, highly functional action, you have officially turned a human being you love into a dentist appointment. You have dragged this relationship out of the warm, forgiving realm of emotional safety and dropped it squarely into the cold, sterile bucket of administrative labor. And as those 3 weeks slowly evaporate, that little blue block on your calendar doesn't feel like a beacon of joy. It sits there like a ticking time bomb. Watch what happens to your mind as the date approaches. What was meant to be a joyful, life-affirming reunion slowly mutates into a looming obligation, a deadline. You wake up on the morning of the hangout, stare at the ceiling, and secretly, desperately pray that they text you to cancel first. We all know that dark, silent bargain we make with the universe. We draft the apology text in our heads while we brush our teeth. We fabricate the sudden work emergency or the vague impending migraine, just waiting to see who breaks first. We think we are saving our friendships by forcing them onto a grid. We think scheduling is an act of devotion, but in reality, these corporate scheduling tactics are the exact things accelerating their demise. When you mandate connection through sheer logistical willpower, when you force a fried nervous system to perform on a scheduled Tuesday at 7:00 p.m., you aren't cultivating love. You are manufacturing a low-grade, suffocating resentment. You are slowly poisoning the bond, punishing both yourself and your friend for simply trying to survive in an exhausting world. If the cure isn't a calendar invite, then what is it? How do we actually survive this? The true preservation of adult friendship requires a radical, almost terrifying act of surrender. We have to let go of our desperate, white-knuckled grip on scheduling. We have to finally, mercifully kill the performative guilt of, let's catch up soon. We need a complete paradigm shift in how we categorize the people we love. We have to accept that it is not only okay, but deeply, beautifully natural for some friendships to transition into what we might call background radiation. In astrophysics, cosmic background radiation is the ambient heat left over from the birth of the universe. It isn't a blinding, exploding supernova. It doesn't demand your immediate terrified attention, but it is everywhere, quietly warming the freezing, endless vacuum of space. Your friendships can be this. They can be stars in the background. You don't need to drag a heavy telescope out into the cold every single night just to prove to yourself that they are still there. They are still real. They are still burning, even when you aren't actively observing them. We have to redefine what love looks like in the burnout era. Intimacy is no longer just sitting face to face over a candlelit dinner, actively unpacking your existential dread. Sometimes, true intimacy is sending a bizarre, completely out of context internet video at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon. Sometimes, it is a silent heart reaction to a photo. And sometimes, the highest, purest form of love you can offer another human being is the mutual, unspoken understanding that you are both simply too exhausted to exist, perceived in public. It is the grace of allowing each other to be messy, tired, and absent, without ever once questioning the foundation of the bond. So, tonight, when you look at that endless, looping text thread of unfulfilled plans, don't send another empty promise. Don't force a date onto a grid. Don't add to the heavy, invisible administrative load that is slowly crushing both of you. Instead, try a quiet rebellion. Pick up the phone. Type out a message that demands absolutely no logistical effort, no emotional performance, and no forced proximity. Tell them, I am thinking of you. I see you. I love you. I hope you are surviving this week, and I require absolutely nothing from you tonight. Please, do not even text me back. Send it. Set the phone face down on the nightstand. Watch the glass screen fade to black. And for the first time in a very long time, give yourself permission to rest.